welcome to Have Guitar Will Travel, presented by Vintage Guitar Magazine. With your host, me, James Patrick Regan, otherwise known as Jimmy from the Deadlies. And today I'm speaking with singer-guitarist Zac Schulze from his band, the Zac Schulze Gang. In our conversation, Zac tells us about how he got his interest in guitar after his brother Ben started playing drums. His brother is also a member of the gang. Zac tells us about his influences early on and now, and his opportunity to see them play live. Zac gives us a glimpse into what touring in Europe is like, living in the UK and playing in Belgium, France, Germany, etc. Zac takes us through his gear on the road and the gear he's collected guitar trading on Facebook Marketplace. Zac tells us about his favorite music shop local to him and in London, and he tells us about his tour driver, who's Zac's guitar tech. Zac tells us about his album Straight to It and the gear he used on the album. And finally, Zac talks about plans to tour in the US and his favorite beer. To find out more about Zac, you can go to his website, ZacSchulzeGang.rocks. ZACSCHULZEGANG.ROCKS. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and most of all, review this podcast. I'd really appreciate it. And please support Vintage Guitar Magazine and all the wonderful things they do for us guitar players, because they do so many wonderful things for us guitar players. Here's my buddy Zac. How are you, Zac?
Yeah, good, thanks. All good. Yourself?
Where you at? I'm good, thanks. Where you at?
I'm a house in Gillingham.
Your house in Dillingham. That's what I heard. When did you start playing guitar?
I think I was probably like 12.
Okay.
I think 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your parents buy you a guitar? Or how'd you get interested?
I played violin for probably 2-3 years before that.
Okay.
And then I wasn't really getting on with that. And then Ben started playing drums, my brother, kind of at a similar time. He's a couple of years older than me, but would have been when I was 11, and he would have been 13. He started playing drums. And then, I don't know, I guess the music I was listening to was more heading into the stuff that leads itself to guitar music other than violins. So, that was it. Yeah, my dad bought me my first one. It was an Encore.
An Encore
Blaster. Yeah.
What shape was it?
Les Paul. Bolt-on neck, Les Paul.
Oh, really?
Classic.
Double neck?
Yeah.
Yeah. For your first guitar?
No, a bolt-on neck. Sorry, bolt-on.
Oh, bolt-on neck. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not a double neck.
And who were your guys? Who were you listening to that turned you on?
Probably at that time it would have been a lot of Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, just the classic stuff, really.
Yeah.
Then Lizzie, we went to a thing called Rock School, and sort of through that, we were learning White Stripes and all that kind of stuff. So all just the classic stuff, really, in those early days, And then it took a few years before kind of discovered the blues and started going down that approach.
Yeah. And so who are you guys now?
In terms of playing guitar, still Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
Rory Gallagher.
Yeah.
Gary Moore, Steve Ray Vaughan. Who else do I like? I like Greg Koch.
Oh, of course.
I like Chris Buck. The thing is now is there's so many good players on Instagram and stuff. It's it's hard when you look. Sometimes it's I don't know. Sometimes it can make you feel good, and sometimes it can make you feel bad.
Oh, sure.
That's kind of the beauty of it, I suppose. So yeah, it's quite a few. Kurt Fletcher.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that's kind of my main ones, I suppose.
Yeah. And have you had an opportunity to see Joe or Greg or any of those guys play? Kirk?
Yeah, many a time. I saw Kirk probably nearly 10 years ago now, and I literally just came back from Cork a couple of weeks ago to watch Joe Bonamassa do the Rory Gallagher stuff. So that was
right
wicked.
on.
So yeah, it must have just been.
Yeah. Excellent. And so, you're touring all over Europe. What's that like?
It's good, man. Yeah, it's great. We're lucky that we get so many gigs. So sort of when people offer it, I said to my agent when we first signed with him a couple of years ago, I just said, book me as many gigs as you possibly can in Europe, and that's what he's going to do. So
yeah.
Things are really different out in Europe in comparison to the UK. You know what I mean? I think people are a lot more up for it over there, and the hospitality is a lot better.
Sure.
So yeah, we play in Europe. I'd say probably more than we play in the UK at the moment.
Okay. And is it hard going from country to country, as far as passports and all, and bringing your gear and stuff?
It's to be fair. I think where we do it, we travel in such a small van. It's just only a little 5-seater van, and we travel as light as we possibly can. So we don't really have any issues on that thing. I think if we were to have a bigger crew with us, and more gear, then we'd have to start looking at carnets and stuff. But at the moment where we're at, we're totally fine. So yeah, it hasn't really been a problem, to be honest.
Okay.
I thought it would be since the whole Brexit thing, but
yes, exactly.
There's a couple of, I think, to where we're kind of just touring in one vehicle, with all our stuff in it, and our bass player did have a look online and found some bits and pieces that kind of said, yeah, this is okay. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So yeah, we haven't really had any issues. Touch wood, eh?
Yeah, and so going from the UK to the rest of Europe, because I'm from America, so everything is Europe over there. How do you get there? How is it? You put your car on a ferry, or how do you get from?
Yeah, we get the ferry, and then the good thing for us is because we're in the south of England. It takes us about an hour to get to the ferry port. Okay. And then another hour on the ferry, and then 2-3 hours, and we'll be in the Netherlands or Belgium. Yeah. So it's pretty easy to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And the clubs in Belgium and the Netherlands, they pay pretty good?
Yeah, great. Yeah, really good, really good. I mean, we're lucky, man. I think when we started, we probably did our first tour like a couple of years ago, probably 1 year ago now. Just over a year ago in Europe, and we've just kept going back, kept going back, building up, playing the same venues, and more people showing up, So yeah, it's really going well up there at the moment, and we've got a great agent, Nico, who's really done great for us, So we're lucky to have him, So yeah, it's working well out there. It's working really well.
Right on. And do you have the opportunity to support people like Kirk Fletcher and Greg Koch out there?
I mean, to be fair, I know Greg just came over for a tour a couple of months ago, but Charles, we're so busy a lot of the time. You know what I mean? We're supporting a friend of ours who owns a venue down in Folkestone. We're supporting a band called High Fade. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I haven't.
They're like a funk rock thing, and we've been fans of them for a couple of years. That would be nice to sort of meet them and play with them. So yeah, the last support stuff we did would have been with Samantha. Samantha Fish. Yeah, of course. Last year.
Yeah, right on. That's great. Fantastic. And so as far as gear, what are you using? You mentioned that you're fitting it all in a small van. What are you using for gear?
I've got main amp is a Roland Blues Cube. Okay. It's the 80 watt one, I think. So that's the amp, and then I've got a Boss TU3 tuner. An Ibanez PS9 tube screamer, and then a couple of Strats, and that's it. Wow.
And the Strats, what vintage Strats are they?
So I've got a 78 Partsacaster thing. So I bought this neck. The neck was for sale. Well, with a body on it, a natural body for £15 on eBay, and it was just listed as electric guitar. Yeah. The stuff Dreams made of, right? And I managed to make a deal with her, because when I saw the headstock, I knew it was an old one. I know it was the 70s one. Yeah. And it had this, the amber tint on it, and it clearly been through the wars. Sure. And I made a deal with her. I paid £100 for the neck and this body, and it had Seymour Duncan. Really early Seymour Duncan pickups in it, which I managed to sell for quite a bit of money. But that kind of neck sort of stuck around for a bit, and then I had various body. The original body it came with was kind of some old lawsuit thing, but the dimensions weren't quite right for it. Yep. So I put on. I used to collect a lot of the Squier Silver Series Strats, the Japanese ones. Yeah, of course. And so on there is a body from a 92, 93 Squier Silver Series Strat. And then the pickups are a guy called Lee at Green Pickups in Manchester. He wound me my own sort of set and has been selling them. So, and they're kind of based on I had Fat 50s, custom shop Fat 50s in there before. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like the sound of the Texas kind of sound in the neck and the middle. Sure. And then the fat sound on the bridge to sort of get the, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer tone in the neck and the middle, and then more the Eric Johnson tone in the bridge. So that's kind of what he did. So the bridge is based on the Fat 50s, and the middle and neck are kind of more 60s sounding. So that's the main one. And I've been using that for pretty much since the band started, so a good 4 or 5 years. And then I've just got a 1980, 88, 89 standard in Puto Grey, maple neck, all stock, everything stock, just in case I break a string on the other one, and I'll run to that. So yeah, I just try and keep it simple, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have more gear at home?
Yeah, yeah. I've got a few bits. I do a lot of when I'm back home. I do a lot of buying and selling on the Facebook Marketplace,
Sure.
which is kind of a way of making a little bit of extra money on the side and just a bit of fun, really.
Yeah.
I mean, during lockdown, it was pretty good because everyone was clearing out their houses, and a lot of people didn't know. So you're hoping for the day where it says, electric guitar, and you go around, So, but I found I've had some good deals. I've got it was a Gibson SG Classic on Facebook for like £300 with P90s in it.
Yeah.
And I made the deal with him there, and then I said, "Have you got any others?" And he said, "I've got 4 in the loft." And he pulled down a 1970s like Mocha Brown Telecaster, an Eric Clapton Martin, a Eric Clapton signature Strat, and a Guild Aristocrat 1954 proper old Guild.
Yeah.
And I made him a deal on all of them, and he said, "Wow, that's a lot of money." And I said, "Well, this stuff is worth a lot more than what I'm offering you." But so to say, I made a really, really good deal on the Guild, the Gibson, and the Clapton Strat, and then sold the Clapton Strat off to kind of outweigh the cost. But it's great, and he wanted him to go to a good home, and that Guild it's such a old guitars like that where you can really feel where they've been played. I mean, the thing's battered. There were stories circling about that maybe it was in John Lee Hooker's hands at some point. The guy I bought it from kind of was. Yeah, it's hard to tell really. I mean, I should probably maybe take it up to London and see if anyone's got anything to say about it, because it might be one of those things. It's been gone for however long and just ended up in this guy's hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got those. What else have I got? I just picked up an Epiphone Sheraton. That's all right. That's quite nice. Acoustics, I play a Faith acoustic, which is pretty good, sort of just basic, I've got an old Taylor that I picked up pretty cheap. Some ones that people have given me. I've got a nice Squire Japanese Hank Marvin Strat, which is cool.
Right on.
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff really. I mean, like I enjoy the buying and moving stuff on, but for when it comes to what I use on stage, pretty much my Strat, I'm happy with what that is, you know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that. And so if you were going to go to a music store in London, like, to have them check out that Guild, where would you go?
I'd probably go to, I think there's one called New Kings Road Guitars, which is pretty good. Denmark Street, like, there's still some good stuff there. Sadly, I don't think it is what it ever used to be, you know what I mean? But there's some good places there, like One Joe's is a great shop, and 6060 Sounds, So yeah, there's plenty of places out there. I mean, I'm lucky up here. I've got a local shop just up the road from where I live in Gillingham, and I've been going there for years and years buying strings, and they'll have bits coming in. So we're lucky to have that, you know what I mean? So I head up there, But also as well, like, the power of the internet these days, you can try and like, type in a serial number, the chances are something's going to come up about it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. And as far as, do you do all your own repair work, or do you take it to somebody?
Well, I've got our driver, he's a guitar tech, that's his job, so he comes with us, so we're quite lucky that he does all my bits and pieces, so, and he's great, and he really, really is great. He's a super nice guy, and he's very, very cheap. And he helps us out big time. So I'll usually, if I find something on Facebook Marketplace, give it to him, and then he'll sort it out, and then I'll flog it on and make some beer money,
Yeah, I gotcha. And what about amps? You anything as far as amps at home?
I used to use the Boss Neckstone before the Blues Cube. A lot of them are all down at our local pub, the Ship. I just sort of leave them there. So I've got a Marshall JCM 2000 head and cab down there. A couple of Marshall valve states.
And are there venues where you can actually use Marshalls these days?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I bought that Marshall for the pub because when kids walk into a small venue and they see a Marshall, they want to play through the Marshall. If they saw the Rowan Cube sitting there, they'd be like, "I'd rather go through the big Marshall stack." It probably never goes over like 1 or 2 on the volume, but it's like. It's for the kids, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And your new album, or your debut album, is Straight to It.
Yeah.
Did you use any special gear? Was it just your Strat and your Roland?
I actually didn't use the Roland in the studio. I used an orange. I think it's an orange Rockerverb.
Okay.
The guy in the studio kind of is quite good at, getting a rocky sound.
Yeah.
So we went through the orange, and then he also had like a Plexi clone that was pretty good, just for a 412.
Yeah.
Cranked. And then I used the Guild. I used the SG quite a lot on the album. For some of the thicker stuff. And the Strat, yeah. So and then just same with the pedals.
Yeah.
I have an S Tube Screamer and a tuner.
You managed to sneak in a ballad.
Yeah. We were debating whether that was going to go on the record, but Anthony wrote that one. So it's the classic end of album, long one.
Well, the playing is superb. It's fantastic. You did a great job. And
thanks, man. Thank you.
And who produced it?
Ian Sadler. He's a guy in Whitstable. We've been going to him for probably 10 years in old bands doing sort of pop punk, rock, emo stuff.
Okay.
And we just kind of wanted a raw sound, and you can get the drum sounding really good. The kick drum sounding like it's and we recorded it most of it live, so it was all. We'd do the rhythm tracks, the bass and drums, and then just overdub the solos and stuff. Like before, we've tried to record stuff like bit by bit, and then like before you know it, you're kind of playing it live, and there's like 100 guitar tracks and like different bits and pieces, and you can't replicate it. So trying to really play them all live in the studio, it kind of has a certain sound about it. And I think it'll be easy, when coming to play it live. It's more of an accurate representation of what you're going to hear.
Yeah. And it's not just blues. There's some funk in there. Sure. It's a great album. It's a great album.
No, thanks, man. Yeah, it's just I think for us, we're kind of songwriting doesn't for a lot of people it does come easy, but for us, we do have to work on it. We have to sit down and properly hash it out. When it comes to playing live, that's the bit we enjoy. We love that bit. But
of course.
Yeah, it's been this album we had rough ideas for it and went to the studio, and I'm just kind of glad to get it out there, and see what people think of it. And, I'm excited to see there's some songs on there that are certainly not blues, and there's some, and there's some blues rockers on there, so it's just nice to do a bit of everything, I suppose,
Sure. Absolutely. What's it like traveling through the Netherlands and Belgium in the middle of winter?
Do you know what? To be honest with you, I'd say better than the summer. The summer has been so hot over here this year.
Oh, really?
In Spain. And in Europe, whereas the winter for me, I'm easy. I'll happily throw a coat on. I'd rather be too cold than too hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sweating your nut off on stage as well. It's just But usually I think we usually tour. We'll always do a tour in December, and it does get cold, and especially in January, February, it does get cold. But it's part of the fun,
Yeah, absolutely. How much does a ferry cost to take it to? I'm fascinated by this. To take a ferry with your van and all your guys.
How much do you think it costs?
I don't $100, like 100 pounds.
Yeah, exactly that.
Oh,
exactly, £100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's all right though. For us though, it's a shame they don't do. It's a shame they don't do like air miles. You know what I mean? We'd be if we had so many. Like the other week, we went to Belgium to play a show. We got the ferry back to play a private party in our pub, and then the next day we drove back to Belgium on the ferry again. And then came back the next day. So
wow.
Yeah, it works for us financially. It's good, and the crowds are great. And if we can we'll always make it work. You know what I mean? So yeah. You can get the Euro tunnel, the train, but that costs an extra £250. So we never bother with that. We always get the ferry. And on the ferry, you can have a beer or a cup of tea, and play the fruit machine. So it's all good fun.
Yeah, exactly. And so at your local pub, is that the place you guys play on a regular basis?
Yeah, but it's kind of where we started. When we're not on the road, we'll be in there, either drinking or hanging out or whatever. But there's some great killer new young bands in Medway where we live at the moment, which is really, really cool to see. So it's been a great sort of the past 18 months here has been wicked. So we're kind of lucky that we can go away and tour, and come back to to a scene, you know, a local scene that's also thriving. You know,
Yeah.
we're very lucky.
Right on. And what's your beer? What's your choice of beer?
Guinness, always
Always
Guinness.
Guinness. Okay, right on.
Always Guinness. Or Stella. Guinness or Stella, really. Yeah, them two. Yeah.
Any plans of coming to the States?
Yeah, I think it's kind of all getting sorted out for like September 2026.
Okay.
So
Right on.
I'm not sure where we're going to be, but we're going to be over there for
All
sure.
right on. Well, I hope to get the opportunity to meet you in person.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, James. Thanks a lot. It's great to speak to you.
Likewise.
All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Have Guitar Will Travel. You can catch up on all the things I'm doing at thedeadlies.com. And I'm on all the social media platforms as well. And please support Vintage Guitar and all the wonderful things they do, because they do many, many wonderful things for us guitar players. Thanks. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.